Prince Harry, another interview, another special, another book. We can't seem to get away from the Duke of Sussex, nor his wife, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. They left the royal life so that they could get away from the spotlight, and now they're in the spotlight. This is leading an awful lot of people to be critical of them. My friend, colleague, Christina Blizzard, longtime columnist with the Toronto Sun, says they lack the courage, the dignity, the grace of the late Queen Elizabeth, and in a recent column said, with every new oversharing episode, the Sussexes slid further into a petty world of private grievances and pity porn. Christina, you wrote that before the Anderson Cooper interview, before the book Spare came out. We knew all the gory, interesting details. Uh, Look, I'm going to take an opposite side of you, but I want to hear why it is that you are so opposed and can't seem to find any empathy for Harry and Meghan, H&M as you call them.
Well, I think that these are people who have made a lot of money out of blabbing about their family, and it's not terribly interesting stuff. These are things that happen with all families. The kind of details that Harry has been leaking to the media recently have been embarrassing to him at best, and actually really quite catastrophic for some of his former army colleagues at worst. I mean, telling the world that he killed 25 Taliban soldiers puts his entire army unit at risk now. I mean, we've heard, you know,
I mean, I
we've
don't
heard.
see how. I mean, I know lots of people that served in Afghanistan. Anybody that was on the front lines pretty much would have been in a similar situation. How does that put them at risk?
Well, he's now bragging about it. I mean, we all knew that uh, the Taliban were being killed in Afghanistan, as were soldiers from Canada and the United Kingdom. But now he's bragging about it in his book, and that just seems. I think it has provoked the Taliban. They have responded. His army colleagues have responded also, and they are very upset. So I think if they're upset, our senior army officers are saying this is just not something you do.
So I get the oversharing and I get being put off by the fact that they said they didn't like the mega spotlight on them in the UK. They didn't like the daily tabloids. And look, you and I have spent a long time working for a tabloid, but we're different than the British tabloids. It's a very different environment. They said they wanted to get away from that all, but now they keep putting them in the spotlight. And I can understand being upset at the hypocrisy or laughing at them, mocking them. But when you listen to Harry and Meghan talk, especially Harry, where he talks about trying to defend his family from the pack that is the Rota, that is the British media that covers the royal family, when you hear him talk about having to protect his wife because the institution of the royal family will not. As a man, I can sit there and say, okay, I understand. I get that. If that were happening to my family, what would I do? Can you feel any sympathy for him, any empathy on that front?
Well, I mean, who is he protecting? I can understand that if he has moved to California and he wants to raise his two children and he wants to live with his wife Megan quietly there, but they haven't lived quietly. He has now turned on his family and has put them at terrible risk with each of these revelations. We have no idea. He is inconsistent, to be polite about it. His stories are inconsistent. On the one hand, in the Oprah interview, he claimed the royal family was racist, and now he says that perhaps it wasn't. It was, more now just some kind of institutional bias that he saw. He's putting his family, the names he's called Camilla, the queen consort, that I mean is saying that she was dangerous, and I think that he's delusional. Frankly, I think that he is seeing things that just aren't there. And if he really wants to protect his family, the best thing he could do would be to settle into California, make a living whatever way he can, and stop lobbing these grenades at his family. His family is actually very happy where they are.
But
They don't
haven't they
need
been
his
lobbing
protection.
grenades at him for years with the leaks? And you can see that many of these things did come from inside the institution. You can see that there were times where his private conversations, even with his father, were leaked to places like the Daily Mail. Um, I mean, isn't that the family lobbing grenades at him? There's obviously, as you say, a family breakdown. That happens in all kinds of families, but they've done it very publicly using the media. Isn't he doing the same in kind?
Well, I don't think so. I would like to see, frankly, I would like to see evidence of what exactly they are supposed to have done. He lobs out these accusations, doesn't back them up with any kind of references, anything more substantial than just making these accusations. And he leaves. He knows that the royal family never responds, is not in a position to respond, and doesn't respond. So he can make these accusations willy-nilly. Look at the stuff he said in Oprah. He has been found to have been extremely economical with the truth during that whole interview. There were so many things that was such foolish things for him to say, when I think it was Meghan actually who said that the Archbishop of Canterbury had married them the day ahead of the wedding in their backyard. Well, anyone knows that that was absolute pure nonsense. It just went on and on. The claims that their son Archie was denied a title because of his racial background is also absolute nonsense. You have to look also at Meghan's own history. She is alienated from her entire family, and now Harry is now alienated from his family as well. Now, I don't see that within the royal family. They are very close. Uh, they appear to be reasonably happy. The people who seem to be terribly unhappy in any family situation really seem to be the Sussexes. I think we all know that Harry has admitted to having some deep emotional issues, and I think that by going on network television and spouting some of this stuff, which is frankly delusional at times, really doesn't help matters for anyone. If he wants to deal with it, then deal with it. I mean,
Okay, but
sorry.
put yourself in his shoes. He went through that trauma of watching his mother be hounded by the British press, which is a beast like few others on this planet. He watched his mother get hounded by that. He watched his mother die because of the paparazzi. Um, and then he's seeing his wife being attacked in the same way. And you can't deny that she was viciously attacked. The Daily Mail specifically, but not exclusively, acts as if Meghan Markle is enemy number one to the UK, and they have for a long time, long before the split. It's as if they decided, let's set up a battle. It'll be Kate versus Meghan, and we're going to pick Kate's side. And watching that happen again to your wife, what happened to your mother, that's got to lay some heavy questions on you, some guilt, some anxiety, of course. Can you see that?
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm fine. He's moved to California where he now feels safe and secure. So perhaps he should just be quiet. He's only causing more difficulties. The royal family, it's not Harry who's been singled out. The royal family uh, has been attacked over the years. Look what happened to now King Charles over, Tampon Gate. Look at all those other leaks that King Charles had to put up with as the heir to the throne. Look at all the stuff that Camilla had to suffer through. She had no security. If you read the Palace Papers, which is Tina Brown's book, it will tell you that Camilla actually was pretty classy in that she just went off. She was driving her own battered Jeep back to her own home with no security whatsoever. And she did not complain. She just got on with it, as they say in the UK. And Harry is really just bringing more misery on himself by continuing this endless stream of whining. And I think up until now, it's the breakdown has been that in the UK, there's no sympathy for him whatsoever. His attacks they see as an attack on Britain, and in the United States, they see him as this, the Sussexes as these great heroes who've gone over the wall, so to speak, who are taking on the royal family. But I think even in the US now, they're starting to tire. Americans don't like whiners, and I think that that's how they're being perceived right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I'll tell you this, people can't get enough of them. Every column you write goes off the charts online. Everything that we publish at the Sun about the Royals, good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter which side it comes from, people can't stop reading about it. They can't get enough. That's probably what's feeding all of this. Us. We're the ones feeding the beast on both sides of the issue. So we'll let the audience have their say. Drop a comment down below. Let us know where you stand. Are you with Chris? Are you with me? Are you with Harry and Meghan? Are you with William and Kate, King Charles? Put it all in the comments. Share this on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.